Ladies and most gentlemen, today we're going to check out the Vulpera racials. I actually wanted to do this video a while ago, but a lot of the spells weren't implemented correctly on the PTR, and I feel like we're pretty much there with the 8.3 PTR and the Vulpera racials, so I feel like it's finally time to show off what they have, and they definitely have an interesting selection of racials this race, so let's just jump straight into it and look at some of the racials for the Vulpera. So, the main one that they have is called Bag of Tricks. Now, this is a really interesting spell. It's essentially linked with another racial called Rummage in Your Bag. So you spawn the bag just in front of you, and you get to choose which ability you want Bag of Tricks to do. Now, as a default, you have Corrosive Vial, which you can enable or disable as a harmful effect, and as a helpful effect like a heal or something like that, you have Healing Vial. Now, what's interesting about this is the text. It actually kind of hints at the fact that there's more out there in the world. Now, currently we have no idea what is out there in the world. I mean, you can go rummage through the Wowhead spell list and try to find spells which sound like they'll be good for the Bag of Tricks spell, but as of right now, you start with 2 as you begin, and I would imagine, my theory is that it's basically probably going to be like little bags spawned around the world, similar to this. Maybe you go and find them, you click them, you unlock the spells, and it says that once you unlock them, you can't unlearn them. Very similar to the Mole Machine racial of the Dark Iron Dwarves, where you unlock different locations to be able to teleport to, which is really neat actually. So as of right now, unfortunately we do not know how many different ones there are out there in the world, but definitely something they can work on and definitely something they can expand upon on. I'm looking forward to seeing once this launches where all of these tricks are going to be located. The next ability they have is called Make Camp, and this is linked with another racial called Return to Camp. Now, this is really neat and is actually something we've never seen in World of Warcraft. Essentially, it's kind of like an extra Hearthstone, but you don't need an innkeeper. You can make camp wherever you want. It has a 10-minute cooldown. Essentially, the only restriction is that it has to be outside. And once the camp is created, you create this little camp here. I believe other players can see this. When it first came on the PTR, it was absolutely nuts. There was people spawning them everywhere. It was kind of cool. So as I said, you can spawn that anywhere outside in the world as you like. And then you return to camp, which has a 1-hour cooldown and this really neat animation. I love it. It looks absolutely fantastic. You're coming back on the caravan thing, and you jump off and you land at your camp. And as I said, this can be spawned anywhere outside. And it's actually really neat. It's actually really cool. It also has some other functionality, which isn't quite a racial, but I'll talk about it anyway. Essentially, the Vulpera racial mount is the Caravan Hyena. Now, this hyena looks like this, but you can actually customize it a little bit with clicking the Caravan as pack and unpacking the canopy. That does a little animation, and then you'd go back onto the mount to see that it now has a canopy, which is actually really neat. I like that. A very small customization option, but very cool. And as you can see here, someone else has spawned a little camp next to me, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I think the RP servers are absolutely going to love that racial. So next up we have Alpaca Saddlebags. Now this increases your backpack size by 8 slots. Now look how big the backpack is on this Vulpera. That is a huge backpack right there. 8 extra slots. Absolutely awesome. About damn time they started making things that increase your backpack size. Obviously the last time we had that was with the Authenticator. But yeah, 8 extra slots for any Vulpera is pretty great, honestly. It's pretty unique. It's actually a nice thematic thing as well, which I really like. And they added this quite late in the game, so having 8 extra slots will definitely be a massive help. Next up is fire resistance. They have 1% fire resistance for some reason, and their final one is Nodes for Trouble. It says when you first take damage from an enemy, it reduces that damage by 5% of your maximum health. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is a selection of the Vulpera racials. Some really cool ones in there. I'm a massive fan of Make Camp and Return to Camp. Bag of Tricks is definitely going to be really interesting when we see 8.3 launching on the live realms early next year, and that's going to be super cool, and I can't wait to see if people can find where all of the bags of tricks are and what kind of effects they give. So yeah, pretty awesome. I mean, the current default bag of tricks things, as I said, one is just a healing spell and one is just a nature damage spell, but who knows where it could go. It could be pretty nuts, and maybe even some of them might be actually decent for some endgame content. We'll see, we'll definitely see. So guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know down below what you think of the Vulpera racials. What is your favorite? Do you think any of them are too overpowered? Do you think any of them will change before they launch early next year? And before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to our amazing patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs. You guys are awesome, and if you'd like to support the channel in any of those ways, links are down below. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. I've also got a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members, and I'm now streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM live right now, over on twitch.tv/MrGM, playing some World of Warcraft, maybe Classic, maybe PTR, maybe Retail, who knows. Twitch.tv/MrGM. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.